If you've seen any of my reviews on Amazon or on YouTube, you'll know that I have several LED light strips. These tend to be some of my more popular reviews, so one of the things I wanted to do is show you 3 different kinds of LED light strips that you may run across. You'll see behind me the ambient light in my office. You can use these under a kitchen cabinet if you want to just have a white light. You can use them, I'm doing for some ambiance, but you can use them behind your TV if you want to have a bias light. There's a few things that you'll see that are fairly standard among a lot of these that you'll find listed online, listed on Amazon, and just I want to show you some of the different types that I've come across. This is one of my most recent acquisitions that I found on Amazon from a company, LDH. Now, one of the things that's frustrating about pretty much all of the LED strips that you'll find on Amazon from sellers is that they use pretty much the same generic stock picture, so you can't really tell which is which for the most part. But there are some things that you can look for or look at. You'll see that there's diodes along the strip, and then there's also this little cut line here. You can cut the strips with that copper lines and get a joiner and connect these together. I've done that. It's really not that difficult. You don't need to solder it if you have one of the little clips. This strip actually had a broken section on it, so one of the colors wasn't registering. I believe it was blue that wasn't registering, so I cut out the bad section. It was only about that big, so about 2 sections. And then I use this connector to piece it back together. You have 3 color wires for the primary colors, so red, green, blue, and then you have black for the power. Most of these take a standard power connector. Most of the connectors that you get are interchangeable, and most of the receivers that you get are also interchangeable. This is fairly standard. You have a little IR receiver to pick up from the remote. The remote is also pretty standard. This one is a 44 key remote, the standard 44 key remote. I've got some with a few fewer keys. This one has some DIY options on it. I have probably 6 or 7 of this type of remote. Probably the most fully featured remote that you'll see. Probably see this with a lot of strips out there that you see. And there's even a little booklet that explains how to use the remote. It's really pretty self-explanatory. And then you have this plug at the end, and the plugs have 4 holes that line up with 4 cables that you see here, the red, green, blue, and the black. And then you have, the pins and the holes. Now, one of the things that troubled me for a while is I would get a strip like this one that would have pins on one side and on the other side, and I would anguish over, oh, I wish the pins were on the other side because I wanted to run this a certain way, or the connector would come with pins or without pins and I would want to connect it in a different way. Well, it turns out that, and this is one of the things that I probably should have figured out a long time ago, the little black piece can be removed, so you can switch it. I figured this out when I had daisy chained, then I unplugged it, and pretty soon I had a strip with both female ends, 2 female ends, and I had one with 2 male ends, and I said, wait, that wasn't like that before. Nice little trick. Don't spend as long as I did figuring that out because you'll be frustrated. So you'll see bare wires here and some that's not really much of a concern. They still work. Some of what you see actually come like this, so they kind of have a boot around them and they're a little more protected and you can't necessarily see them and take them apart. These do still have the cut lines on them and the little gold contact points, but they don't necessarily come apart. I've had a few of them like this one that you just can't. This one's pretty much stuck in there. Whereas this one looks prettier and cleaner, and I used to like that best. This one comes in really handy because of the versatility of it and because you can pull off that connector pretty easy if you want to. They also all have a sticky backing on them. The sticky backing is completely worthless. Every time I've had it, and this one you can see I've taken off, it just falls off. It will not stay very long, it falls off. The ones that I have stuck up under my desk are actually held on by these little twisty ties and zip ties, and then some of them that I have up behind my bookshelf over here are stuck on with command strips. This usually ends up being a little greasy, like if you haven't taken off the strip. I found the command strips don't attach well to that, so I actually usually do pull this off so it's the sticky side, and then I use the command strip against the sticky side. Tends to last a lot longer, so just save yourself some grief and do that right away because I've never had them stay up for very much longer. So we're looking at 3 different kind of light strips. This one is the LDH. This is a 5 meter, so about 16.4 feet. This is a non-waterproof strip, so there's no plastic or there's no like rubberized cover covering it like you'll see here or here. This is probably the most vivid color strip that you'll get. Now when you're plugging these in, there's little arrows that you can line up that just make sure that you're getting the power lined up in the red, green, blue. lined upright. One of the great things about the LDH strip is that each diode makes all the colors. And you might say that's obvious, that's what you should do, but that's actually not always the case, as you'll see with this annoying one right in front of me. When it comes to the controller, there's an on-off. I don't really know why you would use on-off, but it's there. It retains whatever setting you have it on set before. With a 44 key controller like this, you can choose individual colors. So if you want to choose, just green, or if you want to choose kind of the teal color, you can also make your DIY colors by adding more green or blue into it and save those DIY colors. Auto is here's the features I can do, here's the colors, here's some of the things. There's flash, which is just a blinking, and and it just blinks a single color. I have quick and slow buttons here so I could speed it up, slow it down, so I can make it a strobe, or it's just blinking like this. There's jump, and this one has a jump 3 and jump 7. That's what you normally see. Jump 3, 3 primary colors, red, green, blue. Jump 7 bounces through all the colors. So you'll see there's the green, the blue, yellow, purple, like a teal, white. So you have a mixture of other colors as well. And then you also have a fade 3, 3 primary colors, and then my favorite is fade 7. What you see going on behind me is a number of strips all connected together, going through, stuck on a fade 7 setting. And I have it slowed way down, so it's a very easy shift, and that goes all around my office. This strip from LDH, this is one of my favorite strips. The color is really bright, it's really crisp. Part of that has to do with, because it's not waterproof, there's no coating over top of it, so you're really just seeing the color straight from the diode, so it's super bright, it's really nice. The ones that I have around my office are all this kind of strip, so they are waterproof, they have the waterproof coating, but I really like the color and the brightness of this strip. So moving on, this next one is I got from a company called Adoric, I believe it is, Adoric. And this is a 16.4 foot, so like a 5 meter. This is waterproof, so it has the coating over it. This is my least favorite kind of strip, and I have a number of strips like this. Each one of the diodes doesn't show all the colors. There's a red diode, a green diode, and a blue diode, and even they're labeled G, B, and R, and the R one is showing blue right now, the blue one is showing green, or the B one is showing green, and the G one is showing red. When you have this on a fade setting, you're not getting every color from every diode, so if I were to switch this to white, we're actually having a mixture of all these individual diodes. So you have green, red, blue, green, skips a red, blue, green, skips a red, blue, green, skips a red, blue, green, red. So this is called faking it. I don't like these kind of strips. The good thing is that you can normally tell these strips on the Amazon listing because of the generic picture that they use. Shows them in this state that shows all the diodes. This looks a lot more Christmassy because it always has a couple colors on, and none of these diodes are changing colors. If you have this from really far away, or if you're only using it for white light somewhere and you're never actually staring at the light strip, this might be okay, but by and large, this is my least favorite kind of light strip. I don't care if it's waterproof, the colors just aren't as good. Stay away from these kind if you can. This is the waterproof one, and this is again the one that I repaired. We're getting the diodes that fade through all the colors. I connect these together. In my office I think I have 4 or 5 daisy chains, but the nice thing about that is that they maintain the same colors. It carries through. The only time I'm really starting to see a degradation of color is actually all around the back. So it starts up here, it goes all the way around under my desk and behind the monitor. I have like 1 strip, 2 strip, and then I think when it gets to about the 3rd or 4th strip, actually probably the 5th strip, it kind of isn't pushing the color through, so there's a little bit of delay. But you can daisy chain a lot of these, and in fact I'm going to continue around my office with them. Those are my favorite kind of light strips, are these ones that you are getting the full color spectrum. Even when you plug these together, they're just not as good. This one here, this has given me this nice yellow and green, and this one is just trying its best, and it has all these individual diodes, and they're just not quite working very well. This is really when you'll see the difference, is if you have 2 of these strips together, the good strips and the bad strips. All these strips kind of cost the same amount on Amazon, so you'll find some that are really reasonably priced, and you'll find some that seem to be reasonably priced, and you'll find some that are priced upwards in the $30 range. The non-waterproof one from LDH is $14.99. This one, the bad one, you should stay away from, that is waterproof, was $15.99. And then something like this, I actually got strips similar to this, about 2 of them, for about $21, $20.98. So that's a really good price. If you have the choice to go with waterproof, you might as well do that because you'll have that extra protection again. There it is. There's an overview of the different LED strips that I have and my opinions on them and their impressions with them. If you have any comments or questions, please ask them below. Hope you enjoyed this overview of LED light strips, and if you've done anything crazy or cool with LED light strips, please comment below. Let me know. I want to hear what you guys are doing with them. I want to hear pictures of what you're doing. Again, I know a number of people put these behind their monitors or their TVs. I have them underneath my desk and all the way around my office, and I hope to be able to do more kind of effect lighting with them. And I actually have mine plugged into a Wemo switch. So it's controlled by voice through Alexa, through the Amazon Echo. Amazon automatically, it's on set and it stays on for a defined period of time. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with your friends. It's always appreciated.